What's up, Dragon Ball fans? We're going to be talking about episode 108. This was amazing. We're going to go ahead and get talking about this. What an episode. It starts off right where we left off, where Goku is about ready to face Brienne. He says, "You fight with great justice, Abraham." She goes, "It's not justice, it's love." They start trading blows back and forth. And as soon as that happens, Elise is given a lot of credit towards her universe. You also see the god Liqueur as well as the other gods start talking about, like, who do you think is going to be the last one to go. Liqueur says he thought it was going to be universe 6 or 7 because of how many warriors there was. And then he says he starts going possibly towards Elise's universe. And then that's when his Supreme Kai goes, "Lord Liqueur, you're going to go towards universe 2 now." He says, "Perhaps." And then that's when others start talking and giving Elise credit. And then the Kai of universe 2 starts talking about it. And then Elise is giving her more props. So one of the things that we did see did not go into, or I think it was episode 108, 109, that is not going to, may be or may not be where she credits Goku. So that was not in this episode. It may be in 109. But anyway, it continues where Gohan is facing a robot character named Bolo. And it looks like it's from universe 3, from that universe. And he starts fighting the universe, that warrior, and it starts blowing at him, and then he actually gets away from it, and he's hurt a little bit, and he's trying to calm down. And then you see the yard rat, Jamies, and he starts fighting him. He says he's no time for that. He says, "I'm Justice Warrior of Universe 2. He says, I protect the goddess Elise and the maidens." He says, "and my justice is going to take you down." So he starts fighting with Gohan, and Gohan knows that he's a yard rat. He says, so he knows he's going to have to be on his feet. So when that starts happening, the instant transmission is getting him blow for blow. It's knocking him down. It's draining his stamina even more. And I want to go on and say about this, I love Gohan. I know for a fact he was going to get his ass whooped in this, and the reason why I say that is because anyone that knows how to use transmission very well and someone that is not used to it, more than likely is going to get their ass whooped. I'm just saying because that is the truth. Because look at Goku of how he did with Gohan when he fought him. That's just a good example for Gohan is not used to instant transmission other than from his father. But this yard rat was a lot more experienced from using that because he would use instant transmission and then do an attack, instant transmission, do an attack. So that is a good reason why I can see why Gohan had a little issue with this. Do I give Gohan props for this? No, I don't, because we did not see full Gohan's potential in this episode, and I'm going to go into more reason why. We also see where as soon as he's about done, the yard rat warrior tells him, he says, "You fought with honor." He says, "That I do respect." He says, "But you're done now. Say your prayers." He says, "If you do somehow survive," he says, "I would like to," he says, will offer my teachings to you." He's offering a blast, and as soon as that happened, Frieza steps in, and before that you see warriors go for blow. And earlier Frieza was looking over the battlefield. He just seems like everyone's enjoying themselves. Time for me to find another playmate, and that's why he gets involved in this. He says, "I see you're having trouble," and everyone goes, "Frieza." And then Beerus is like, "Yeah, Frieza, go help out the kid." And then he goes, "I don't know." He says, "Why?" He says, "Why is you just standing there?" He says, "Because I think Frieza's contemplating to take out Gohan." He says, "Why would he do that?" And he says, "With him being a villain." And he says, "Well, why would he do that?" He says, "Well, maybe if he's trying to make sure he be the last thing out of the Super Dragon Balls." He says, "Well, why would he do that?" And then the next thing Whis says, which makes a good point, that the wish could possibly even erase a god himself. And he says, "What, me?" And that's when he starts threatening Frieza. He starts telling him to do this, starts telling him to do that, and like Frieza's just not staying there. And then as soon as he says, "Well, are you going to help your ally?" And Frieza goes, "Not right now. I'm just going to wait till it's my turn." And he just kind of does his laugh, and then he goes on the sidelines. He says, "Entertain me." He says, "Then I'll decide." And then Frieza, and he just looks at Frieza, and next thing you know, he says, "All right, let's continue." So then, as soon as that happens, the yard rat continues to pound on Gohan using different attacks and transmission. He says he's not even trying to help your own ally. He says that is just despicable. And as soon as he starts about ready to destroy Gohan or take Gohan down, Gohan is completely out of stamina. Well, not out of stamina, he's drained. And then Frieza blasts the Kai Blast out of the yard rat's hand, and he says, "I thought you were not going to interfere." He says, "Well, I got bored." He says, "And now I changed my mind." And he says, "Fine, then I'll go after you." And next thing you know, he just instant transmission. And as soon as he does that, Frieza just whips the tail on him. Frieza being a badass. And he says, using instant transmission on me is child's play. He says, "How?" And he does it again, and Frieza's right behind him, knocks him down. He says, "Like I said, it's child's play for someone that's used to it." And then as soon as that happens, Frieza again uses a knockout on him. He says for that, he says his transmission's child's play to me. And then he gets him up by his tail, starts beating on him, and then he says say goodbye. And he kind of really, he doesn't really kill him. He really goes against the bios. He really gets to where he becomes completely unconscious, almost dead. And then you see where the Supreme Kai of that world saying he's gonna kill him. He needs to be eliminated. And he says don't be silly. He says I just didn't get no vitals. And he blasts him off the stage. And then he goes there. And then now everyone's out. And then you see Elise going. She's how can a despicable person such live in such a universe? And all Frieza does is look at her and smile. And Elise gets angry. And then he looks at Gohan. He says, if that's how a Saiyan fights, he says, and that's just pitiful. He says, if that's how you really fight, he says, that's how you pretend to fight. He says, that's really pitiful. And then he just looks at him. He says, how you Saiyans fight? He says, I will never be understanding on that. And the next thing you know, you see Frost. He shows up. He says, that was a magnificent fight. I didn't know you were that good. And he says, wow. He says, just looks at him, and he just looks at Frieza, and then he looks at Champa, looks at Vados. He says, well, are they going to be fighting? And Vados goes, well, maybe he's going to fight Frieza. And then he says, well, maybe. And then next thing you know, he says he can't take him. Frieza's too damn strong. And as soon as that happens, he says, don't worry, Champa-san. He says, our opponent is him. And he looks at Gohan. He says, oh, crap. And that's pretty much how he realizes. And he goes, Frieza goes, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. He says, I would prefer this was a little less more of a dramatic. He says, but yeah, he says, me and Frost, he says, hey, Saints, this is our hatred for him, decided to have a little alliance. He says, now the cat's out of the bag, now you're gonna know. And so now it does go a flashback of when they did it, and he goes, okay, he says, you first, Frost, and then he tells, no, you first by all means. And he says, if you insist. So he starts going towards Gohan, and then he says, but if you try anything, and that's when Frost does a beam ready to blast him. He says, I trust him. He says, no, I just want to make sure you're with me. He says, very well. And so Frieza starts punching Gohan with one punch. He kind of gives Gohan a look, and then Gohan just kind of looks at him, and Gohan's kind of getting his ass beat a little bit, but then they're trading blows, and then once he finally pushes Gohan to his limit, Gohan goes ultimate form, and then he says, wow, that's your full power, I might as well go full power too. And next thing you know, he finally unleashes Golden Form. This is the full time where everyone's amazed how powerful Frieza has gotten, and then Frieza starts trading blows with him again, and Frieza finally, I'm not gonna lie, he puts the knocking on Gohan, but here is the kicker that is amazing, and I'm gonna tell you guys here in a second. This is just crazy what the hell I just saw on this episode. As soon as that happens, he knocks Gohan down, and then he looks at him and he says, wow, he says, I didn't know you were that powerful. He says, yeah, if you train, you'll become that powerful too. He says, I don't know about Golden though. He says, what does that mean? He goes back to normal. He says, but he says, there are other forms you can probably achieve now. He says, like what? He says, like this. And then Frieza goes on muscle, and that's when he was fighting Goku on Namek, and he says, try to do this, and he says, okay. And so Frost does it, and he says, let me teach you a few things. He says, one, he says, if you do this, he says, you need to use it quickly. He says, because it drains your stamina quickly. He says, so you need to defeat your opponent quickly. He says, yes, it does make sense. And he looks at him, he says, I think I can get used to this. He says, with more training by you. He says, yeah, you will. He says, but he says, there's something else you need to know. And he says, what is that? He says, never trust anyone. And he just looks at him, and next thing you know, he blasts Frost off the damn stage. He looks at him and he goes, you tricked me, are you serious? And like Champa's going, he says, yeah, we're gonna win. And Champa was flapping his gums. He was like going like, oh, we're gonna win because Frieza's with Universe 6, and Beerus was going nuts. And then as soon as that happened, everyone was like, holy shit. And now he finally revealed that he's actually with Universe 7 for the time being, unless there's another plan that is still there. And he looks at him, he goes, do you really think I would work with an amateur like you? He says, please give me a break. And then he says, an amateur? Is that what you think? And Frost just got so mad, and Champa, Vados, everyone's just looking like, oh shit. And he just keeps going. He's walking away. And as soon as Frost is getting angry, he's just getting more and more and more angry. And as soon as that happens, he tries to unleash a blast on Frieza from the stands. And right before he's even able to, boom, he is erased. Both Xanos say no, and he says there is no blast outside of the The stands do it again. Universe 6 will be erased on the spot. Ciampa says, yes, sir, I'm sorry, sir, that might happen again. And they're like, wow. And then looks like Beerus says, he said, well, looks like Frieza's on our side after all for the time being. And we said, yeah, until there's another ulterior motive. So right now it does look like Frieza's on their side for the very moment, but then it does look like we're at the end. He says, son Gohan, he says, I'm glad you actually knew what I was doing. He says, before I actually did, he says, otherwise I'd have to kill you. And then that's when Gohan's thinking that he saw how he looked at him, so he knew he wasn't going full power, that he had to play along to actually kind of get what he needed. And he says, son Gohan, come, let's fight on. He says, together. He says, that way we can win. He says, let's fight to our heart's content. And then he starts walking away. And that's how it ends, folks. This was an amazing episode. We're going into episode 109, 110. It does show Rubian fighting with Goku throughout the episode more, but looks like his attacks ain't doing much. That's when it goes to episode 109, 110. It does show Rubian fighting Goku, unleashing heavy attacks, Goku fighting, and then we see the main event, folks. We see the main event. We see Jiren versus Goku. We see Goku unleashing attacks on Jiren. It does look like he unleashes a spirit bomb on Jiren. That's what it looks like. We also see a Kaioken times 20 in a Kamehameha wave. We also see just that. But 109, 1010 is coming. I'm going to talk about another video with you guys, but if you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, please leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hashtag notification squad. What did you guys think about it? I liked it. I thought it was completely insane. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Again, if you did, leave a like and share the video. Comment down below what you guys think. Notification squad, click that button. That way you guys are notified every time I upload a video. If you guys want to give me a follow on Instagram or Twitter, go ahead and please do so down in the description below. I hope you guys are enjoying the content I've been disputing to my channel. I've been wanting to do a little less Dragon Ball on the channel. That way it can be a little more diverse other than just Dragon Ball content. So if you guys have been liking that, please let me know. I mainly do Dragon Ball. Only time is when I have a theory or if there's brand new news or of course an episode review. So I'm going to try to do a little bit more different stuff than just Dragon Ball, but I know there's Dragon Ball fans out there that do like the content, as well as there's you guys that follow me. I do appreciate that. Love all you guys, love all the followers. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. If you guys did not see the episode, go check it out right now on the net. It's out there, and I hope you guys have a good night. See you later.